John, would you also record? Yes, thank you for Ann in case she needs it for her minutes.
Absolutely.
We're all present. And our first order of business is to approve minutes from 8:31, 9:08, and 9:21. If I can get an approval of the draft minutes, please.
Well, before we do that,
Okay,
were the changes I made to 921 acceptable?
oh yes, and in fact, I took mine out and put yours in. So when they go up on the website, that's your minutes, not mine.
Okay, no. It's not really my minutes. It's just that there was a
No, I
there was a
know.
connection between 2 points that got lost.
Yeah, I know. Ann sent me the stuff and I was trying to get it done so we'd get all these minutes to where we're just gonna have these set of minutes that we owe them to get posted. And
No, that's
hopefully
fine.
we can get them posted in a hurry
Yep, that's
and
fine.
get our
So,
business taken care of.
Unless-
So if I could have an approval of those draft minutes, I will get them to Oryx when she returns. Oryx took some time off, if you all read my email, to be married
Yeah.
this weekend.
Good for her.
So when she gets back, I'll leave. I will have, I'll have her post them and stuff, and then we'll just have the one set of minutes. Oh, I see the little elf helper there with Ann.
Yes. That was all
hey,
set.
and
I think I'm so smart and then I find out real quick I'm not.
well, Linda, when you see Oryx, would you give her at least my congratulations, but I think the whole committee's congratulations?
Oh, yeah.
Will
Everybody.
do that when I send her the minutes. I will send the committee congratulations.
On what?
Oh,
She
what
was
the heck-
married this weekend.
Yeah,
Oh,
what the heck?
We didn't
Ann,
even
why
get
don't you put
prior
that in the
approval.
minutes. Let's make it official.
Okay, make it official. Approval by acclamation of the minutes for 8:31, 9:08, and 9:21.
No objection.
Give me a thumbs up, everybody.
Second.
Thank you. Yeah, she
I'm
told
going
me
to
that.
vacate for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay, that's cool.
And so you spell her name Onyx, no?
No, it's Oryx.
Yeah.
And she has a very unusual last name too. I don't know what it's going to be or if she's going to keep it after
Okay.
she's married. But that's kind of the name of the game.
She is keeping her last name.
Is she keeping her last name? It's just a very unusual name. I know I thought I was going, wait a minute, I'm seeing something wrong here.
No.
It's just so unusual. Well, it's just when I named my daughter Megan, nobody was named Megan. And then that year was the year of Megan. Any kind of 30 ways you want to spell the name Megan, let me tell you.
Well, who was the woman that wrote The Handmaid's Tale that got made into a
Oh,
TV series?
Yeah.
Well, actually, at first a book, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. She wrote the book.
Yeah.
But she also wrote a book called Oryx and Crake. And
Oh.
that was
That's right. You're right, Larry. I know what you're talking about.
yeah. I have only scanned it a little bit. I never read it.
But you're right. As soon as you said that, I think my daughter has that book. So anyway, getting back to business, now that we've approved our minutes, I think, and I don't know, because you've all had a shot at it, but I think the whole ballot box and vetting is going much easier this year.
I can't imagine why,
Seems
since
to be
so
good.
many going down south.
I need to get a hold of Unilect. They've only sent me one list, and Don and I and Davey did that list last Tuesday, and there were 238 people on there. And I don't want them to send me a list of like 500 names that we have to vet.
Well, Linda,
So-
if they do, then let's have an extra meeting or whatever we need to do to take the pressure off of, I guess you and Ann are the next two up.
Yeah, I'll send them something. I was thinking I would get something from them on the weekend, unless they're not getting that many back. But about the time I think they're not getting that many back, we'll get a huge list.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Do
But
They'll
they
all-
send
they'll
that
all-
list once a week?
It's supposed to be twice a week,
Yeah.
but Catherine said
Twice.
if we don't get a lot in, and when they sent us that first list, even we didn't have a lot back yet. But I'm just concerned that people are sending them in there and then we're gonna end up with a whole pile of them here and have to vet them and stuff. So far, we only have 3 people who are not current. And today, after I was in and visited with Rachel, I sent her their names and stuff to forward to the collections gal to reach out to them to bring their accounts current.
Well, that's,
I did send that to her and she will contact them tomorrow.
Okay, she probably should check it too, because sometime from week to week, somebody will pay their dues. And then if we don't check them while we're vetting, then, just so she checks and makes sure they haven't made payment. Because then if they have, we can just change it while we're doing the vetting and registering and stuff. But I think it's going, I know we don't have near the volume that we had before, but I don't know about you guys. I like those names printed and the division and lot on the back of the envelopes.
oh, it's just so much
You mean because
simpler.
they're legible?
Yeah,
Makes it go
exactly.
easy, yeah.
So much
But-
simpler. The only
I-
thing that remains an issue, but we've never dealt with it that I know of ever, is, people who might mail in their ballot early and then become past due before the AGM.
Oh,
Yeah, but then you'd be vetting, then you'd have to go back and vet everybody. And
Yes,
that's
ma'am,
just
that-
crazy.
That's why we've never done it. But
Yeah.
it is a possibility.
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. It's just, I really am anxious I really like the idea. It's neat because it seems far more orderly than trying to read handwriting. We did have one, and I think it's when Bob and I were we got one of those where they just put the inner envelope in the ballot box. And I got another one that somebody left on the counter today that Lauren was just going to go put in the box when I walked into admin. And there's just no way to tell who that is. We'll collect
Then
them.
unfortunately, it gets tossed out. If it's not
Yeah.
ID'd, then
Yep.
what the heck? Let me go get 35 or 3,600 of them.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you completely. I'm just saying, so far, we've only had 2 of those, so I will just continue to keep my fingers crossed. Because in theory, Unilect can't get that. They have to get the mailed outer envelope. So maybe we'll have our countdown on those kind of submittals. We
That's
only
good.
can hope.
How
We
many
only-
of you had in previous years? I mean, you said we had 2 this year. In previous years, how many of those have we had?
We lumped, we never had them separate. It's just, we put them with invalidated for one reason or another. I think last year, I want to say we maybe had 5 or 6 like that.
Okay, so it's never been a big deal.
No, not huge, no. Not that it would even, I don't think, change an election in any way.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
That's
I
the important part.
I sent to you guys a real high level number 5 in-person voting schedule responsibilities.
Yeah,
And I
and
Mhm.
I liked it, and I'll volunteer for sitting outside. It's supposed to be a wet day, and I've got rain gear, so that's not a problem.
Well, or we can rotate as far as that goes. I don't, let's face
Hey,
it,
I don't-
Larry, there have been years when we've had snow.
Yes, ma'am. I don't really give a hoot.
Well, Larry,
I'll just stay outside.
the sign-in table could be set up undercover in the entryway.
That's
Well-
where it's gonna be.
It's still okay. So it's not going to get rained on directly, but being outside is still. I like that idea personally.
All right, I'm gonna put your little initials down there.
Yeah,
And we can rotate. I certainly have no druthers about rotating at all. There's not that much that
Sure.
we're gonna do. We're gonna one spot that I would like to remain static or remain the same is whoever's gonna sit in the cafe and do the sign in.
I
Because
thought
that's kind of,
what sign in, Linda? Because
So-
outdoors they're signing the COVID thing.
that's true, but they still need to come. It's always been a two-part process and you kind of haven't gotten to see that. I think Don and Ann last year did sign in
and I did it last year.
and registration. But this year, registration and giving someone a ballot, that will be done by Unilect. But we still need there's that sheet of paper that members sign in on, put their, division and lot or address. And if they have two ballots, then in theory, they're supposed to sign twice for each of their lots.
Well,
But
I'll leave that up to you, however you want to handle it.
Okay, so do I have, Don, do you want to do the sitting in the cafe or not really, or Ann?
Fine.
I'll do anything. It doesn't matter to me.
Mm-mm.
So that's your number 4 on
No,
your
number 2.
sheet, main
is-
control.
Yep,
That's 2.
it's
Oh,
it's
member
number
sign.
2.
Oh, I see.
the
Gotcha. Yeah.
sign in and vetting, because
Yeah.
you'll have a list that they'll sign in with you.
We'll have the computer from admin.
Yep,
Yeah.
and
So
then
yeah, that's
you'll-
fine with me. I'm okay with that.
Does that require two?
No, just one.
Okay.
We're gonna have to be really careful this time because there can only be 5, there can't be a bunch of us in that room
Right.
with voters.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got 2 voters, that means 3 staff.
Yeah.
One voter means 4 staff. So
Yeah.
if you've got 4 staff, you can hardly ever get anybody else in there.
Are
You
you
know,
gonna have
I wanna
security
back up.
down there, Linda?
What, Bob?
Is security gonna be there also?
Yes, sir.
So they can direct the lines outside if we want to keep only 2 people in the building or whatever else, right?
Yeah.
they can
You're
handle
gonna
that.
be able, hopefully people will space themselves out. We hardly ever get a whole group in there. Although,
No, but
We had
security
like
can
what,
handle.
40, 45 people last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
security probably
Yeah.
should be responsible for handling spacing of any line outside. That way I don't have to
Yeah.
leave the table. Now, the only question on that table,
Yeah.
just to back up, is taking temperatures. Who's going to do that? And at what temperature do I tell people, I'm sorry, you're too hot, you cannot come in?
Oh, rats, it's on the COVID form that Rich sent us, I think. And usually that would be you as the outdoor person.
Okay, so it's,
I have a thermometer that reads foreheads.
okay, so
A
I
no
have no
touch.
problem
I've got
doing.
one if we need another.
Yeah, and I don't mind doing that. That's great. It's just I didn't know what the temperature was. If it's on a document, then that's not a problem.
I think it's on the COVID form that they have to fill out and sign, if I'm not mistaken. And hopefully,
Yeah, county health would have guidelines for that.
yeah, but I think it's on that form. I'll have to look. It's just because Rich sent that and that's what's in that resolution that the board passed. So that's kind of what we're stuck with. When I talked to Norm said he didn't think that was a county health mandate, but if it's what our attorney sent and it's what our resolution
Right.
says, we're bound.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
All I need to know is which temperature it is. And if it's on a piece of paper, I know I can find it.
Right.
Cool. You know,
Yeah.
so.
Well,
it's
any
just-
organization, whether it's us or a school that does screening for anything has a guideline that they use.
Yeah,
I've never
Wherever that
failed it,
comes
so
from.
I don't know what it is. They just take
Yeah.
my temperature and then I go on in.
I think it's 99 something.
I think
So-
it's below 99, but
So
I'm
what
not
happens
sure.
if somebody's temperature is too high? And they
Then
still
we
want to
have,
vote?
then we have to turn them away.
And that's what
Can
security
they
is
give
there to
their
help.
vote to somebody else?
And,
Just
and,
cast?
no, because they have to be, that person has to be there and do their own. They have to go in and sign in with Don then
Yeah.
and be vetted to find out that they're current in their dues. Then they're going to go around the corner and get registered.
Okay,
with
as long as
Unelect and get a
everybody knows
ballot.
it up front, is there any way that we can have this basically in writing so that they know what's gonna happen if they don't pass the temperature?
I like that, Bob. Good
Ooh,
idea.
yes.
We should have a sign said if your temperature is higher than X, you
Right.
can't vote. You can't go
Right.
in, you can't vote.
Just a
Right.
minute,
Well, they
sign
should be
outdoor,
able to
that's
vote
fine.
without going in.
Right.
And you know what?
Dawn, I
can
didn't hear what you
also-
said.
We can put something together and have the girls post it on the e-blast and on the Sudden Valley website.
Okay.
The only, I thought Don was saying maybe there's a way for them to vote. I don't know how we could do
What
it
if-
though.
If
The only-
somebody is not allowed in because of their temperature issue, is there some way we could register them at the pass-through hot dog window? And bring a ballot to them to fill out?
That's true. We could give you one clipboard out there, Larry, that if somebody had to do that, we could get them a ballot. And then they could put it on the clipboard. The control pens are going to be in your thing where they're going to pick up a pen when they fill out their form. And they're going to carry it with them then to bring into the building to sign in with Don, to vote their ballot. And as far as I'm concerned, walk out the door with, I don't want to see them anymore.
Which is
Yeah.
fine, but now you're talking about
Aren't you putting
handing,
someone in jeopardy of getting COVID?
yeah.
I'm just throwing it
The-
out. I wouldn't want to have to go take something from somebody who's got 102 temperature.
There you go. I mean, Bob just voiced it. My point was going to be identical. What about the clipboard? What about the ballot?
I know.
Well, maybe then and you know, that's going to maybe have to be a question for Norm, because I don't know the answer to that. You know, I understood I understood that it says on that resolution, and I'll have to go look again, that if you have a temperature above X, you're not going to be allowed to vote.
Well, if it says allowed to vote, then it's very simple. We're already bound. If it doesn't say, then I think we should make a decision. And personally, I'd rather be safe than sorry, because how many people whose temperature is really high are going to feel good enough to come down and try and vote anyway?
Yeah. We're going to have masks available there, Larry, that'll be on the outside of the building. If people should need them, in theory, they should already be wearing them. We'll have gloves available. We're going to have sanitizer available in the building. We're going to have sanitizer at your table outdoors there, Larry. We're going to have some when Don has sign in. We're going to have some by registration and ballots. We're going to have one bottle on the voting table that people can use after they vote. I think Rachel is looking at having something like Lysol wipes that every time somebody votes before someone else sits down there, one of us, whoever has that outer room, is going to have to wipe down that table where they voted to make it sanitary again.
And that's absolutely perfect. Now, the question that I have is, all right, first of all, it's hypothetical because maybe the motion from the board already says you can't vote. But let's say it doesn't say that, and we want to try and let them vote. Are we going to say, if you vote, you have to put on a pair of gloves, you have to immediately wash the gloves down with the sanitizer, and then you can take the clipboard and do whatever you need to do?
Yeah, that might be the routine. I know somewhere, I think that, and I think it was Norm showed me something, that places have to be able to provide for someone who may have a high temperature or who has COVID, which is just crazy to me. But I think that's a statewide mandate or something for people that are going to polling places.
What
Well, that
about-
may be regular polling places, but that does not apply to HOAs.
Yeah, I hear you.
What
But
about
I-
Ask Unilect?
What now?
What about asking Unilect what they suggest, or have they been around similar situations?
And you know what? I can ask her.
Well, they've been dealing with this.
I
I
know,
sent her a kind of the best I could of taking pictures and a layout of how things are going to look in there. Cause it's going to be there. People are just going to come in, make a loop, and they're going to come in one door. We're going to be using the emergency exit that's at the bottom of the stairs to the dance barn for
Yeah,
people to exit from. That's one of
Right.
the requirements that Catherine had, is that
Yeah.
they cannot go out the door they came in.
Oh yeah, that's totally perfect. And that was part of the plan that Norm
Yeah.
put up.
Yep. So I'll
Yeah,
ask
no,
them
that's
if
perfect.
they've come across
So,
that before.
Linda, I have one question. Isn't
Sure.
one of our objectives this whole last year was trying to make it harder to vote on the Saturday? Why are we trying to make it so much easier to have with somebody that has a temperature to vote? I mean, it's costing them nothing. They have a self-addressed paid envelope. All they have to do is send it in. What's
I
their problem?
understand, Bob, but what we were doing this year was just making it harder to vote on the floor and getting rid of that, because we can't get rid of Saturday voting until the bylaws are changed.
Right, but we don't have to make it easy.
No, I understand, Bob. I didn't intend to. You know, when Larry brought up this whole thing about what if somebody has a temperature, all I can do is share with all of you what I've kind of had some, how do I say it, some experience with them saying, you know, hey, you have to make it possible. Do I think we have to? No. The first thing I do when we get off this meeting is I'm going to go look what that resolution says. And you're all
Okay.
going to get a copy of what it says.
Good.
And maybe in the weekly news blast or whatever that comes out, you know, in bold print, if you are running a temperature,
Please,
please
yeah,
send in your vote, or
yep,
prior to.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is,
Yeah.
we just tell people.
Right.
But I agree with you.
On that
We should
morning-
have the notice about the temperature and in-person voting is we can, because we can put that up on the Sudden Valley website.
Right.
And that's something that Lauren can put out every Tuesday
Mhm.
when she puts out the e-blast to everybody.
On that
And it'll get
morning-
out there.
Linda, I've got a question as well pertaining to the in-person voting. From our email conversation earlier, I just want to make certain there's no recording going on up there. There's no live streaming going on with that portion of
No.
things, right?
Just the counting room.
Just the count. Okay.
Just the count.
All right. Sounds good.
Unless you want to be a reporter, John. I mean, you can come out and take a video and show people, look, this is what it looks like. This is what we're doing.
Well, the counting process is going to be recorded. So there is
Right.
that. But as far as as far as the upstairs,
I just meant the outdoors and even the downstairs. I mean, just
yeah,
it would be if you wanted to, and just to show people an example,
yeah,
30 seconds, 40 seconds, something like that.
there'd be some value in that. I could see that.
Well, you think about it, John, and
Yeah.
we'll leave it up to your discretion
Okay.
because
Sounds good to me. Let me make a motion to that effect.
in
So
the
moved.
in the afternoon, you're gonna be, I don't know how you're gonna do that because the AGM's gonna be going on while we're counting ballots and doing doing tallies and stuff. So
Yeah, I'll be multitasking.
I have one quick question for you, and as long as I've got you on here and you're participating.
Sure.
Rachel and I were talking in a normal year, we have a master counter. Well, we don't need a master counter this year. So N&E is going to be doing the PowerPoint because we're going to be the ones there that are going to have that information from Unilect and our count.
Mhm.
Normally, we used to take a jump drive and and that would go upstairs, and then the person who is now Rachel the ASM would put the results up on the screen up there. And I think what's going to have to happen is I think I'm going to need to send that PowerPoint to Rachel for her to then go through the slides.
Mhm.
How good is the Wi-Fi at the barn? Because down in the multi-purpose room used to be just horrible.
It should be a lot better than it was. I'll say a little over a year ago. So when I first got here, yeah, there were some issues. We've done a lot to try to clean that up.
If worst has come to worst, is it better out in the community center if I were to just go out there?
Your best places are actually up in the dance barn because the Wi-Fi router is right there. Barring that, then I would say directly below it, right about where the gym desk is.
Oh, yep. Okay.
Gym
Yeah.
desk sounds good if you have to do that.
Yep. I think that's what we're going to end up having to do, because whoever controls that is going to have to be able to go through and basically show a slide, wait for a certain amount of time, then have the president or whoever ask for the next one until they get all the way through the slides. I think there's only what are there? I don't think any more than 8. Are there, Rachel?
I think there's not more than 8. I think
Yeah, I
7
think
or
there's
8.
not more than 8. Except sometimes people won't see what people ask you to go back. That's what I was telling Rachel. They'll ask you to go back to the slide that's got the number of votes for the different candidates. That ends up being the big popular slide, so to speak. But anyway, it's just as long as I've got somewhere that I can make sure that I can get that to her. That's the only thing I care about. And do you know where you're going to be, John, or not yet?
Community center, most likely. Yep.
Oh, you're going to be down in the NPR?
Yeah. Well, my plan is to at least be nearby to be
Okay.
in it.
Okay. If I run into trouble, guess what?
I'll be right there.
Good enough.
My only concern listening to that is how nearby, because remember, we're limited to 5 people. So I don't think you can be sitting at, for instance, the office to the gym, because that, to me, if I were to be a jerk about it, looks like the same room as everybody else.
Right.
But he's like 20 to 30 feet away from everybody else.
I understand,
Yeah.
but my suggestion is, while I was saying, if you, Linda, need to do a broadcast, you can walk by the gym office desk. John maybe should be upstairs in the barn.
Oh, that's cold up there. I'll put him
Yes,
in one
I
of
know.
those little office. We'll put him in one of the little conference rooms like we used to use for our
Oh, there you
NNE
go.
meetings.
The old teen room. It's right
Oh,
next
that's
to the
true.
office. It's right next to the office.
That's true. But you know, Gil's gonna be gone by the time we do a lot of that counting and stuff. And outside of, you know, Rachel by that time, ooh, and that's gonna be something I need to think about. Cause I
Yeah,
don't
I'm just-
know where
I'm just
Rachel's,
exactly. I'm just saying we have to constantly remain conscious about how many people are in a
Yeah.
single space.
yes. So speaking of that, I'm gonna come to number 4 on my responsibilities, which is main room control.
Isn't that what you're there for? You're the committee chair.
Hey, I will be happy to be that person. And I guess what I'm gonna ask Bob to do then is be a floater and see if he can help Andrew, if he needs any help in the multi-purpose room, has any questions, kind of our gopher person to handle things. We're gonna have to turn over our ballots that we've collected to Unelect and stuff. And their first process will be to add all of our Dropbox ballots, to scan them and put them into their database, because then they have to do that before they start registration, because that will tell them if people have voted or not.
So are you saying that are you saying that there are two separate steps? One step for the Dropbox and a second step for the ones that we get on Saturday?
Yes. The ones
Okay.
on Saturday will be completely separate from the ones that are mail-in or
Okay.
Dropbox.
Okay.
Linda,
You
I've
know.
been called a lot of things, but never a floater.
That's all right, Bob. Don't worry about it. I've been
So,
seeing floaters since I was in junior high.
I'd be happy to do whatever you wish me to
are
do.
those of us,
Go
are
ahead.
those of us that are gonna be working on the in-person room, should we, or are we required to wear gloves?
I don't know, but if you want to wear them, you can. I think you're going to have sanitizer at your station there. And if you're comfortable with
Well, I don't want to dry
sanitizing,
out my soft hand.
After your manicure?
I would suggest you squirt
Exactly.
a little hand cleaner or a little hand lotion inside your gloves, and then you
Oh,
keep
yeah.
those gloves on the whole
Yeah.
time. And then you'll be all puffy and smooth by the end of the day.
We'll get some
Well,
pink ones.
and I only intend that there's going to be 2 people in the cafe, which is really a separate room. But wait till you see, we have plexiglass that goes up in the windows there. So it really
Right.
looks nice. It really does. You know,
I'm
where
sure.
you're
I'm
gonna-
sure it does. But you just remember, plexiglass
Yeah, I know.
plexiglass is okay, and it's not perfect, because especially if some idiot comes in, takes their mask off, and coughs.
Well, if they do, Larry, they will be
Some
coming very
idiot takes their
rapidly out
mask
the
off,
exit
they're gonna be
door
escorted
with me
out.
on their tail.
Would you like a baseball bat or a cricket bat?
Well, Linda,
Baseball bat, and we'll just put enforcement on there where we've got sign in registration. We'll just have a tag that says enforcement.
and a picture. Linda,
Yeah.
what do you want me to do that day?
So what are we gonna do with Ann?
I know.
Oh,
The assistant?
you know, and I
Well-
might have you and Bob just float around.
Okay.
You know, it's just, I don't know how long it's going to take them. I know they are bringing with them a high-speed opener, and I have no idea how high speed that is.
To me,
No
the
idea whatsoever.
To me, the slowest and most time-consuming process is going to be cleaning the tables between votes.
Yeah,
And
'Cause
so
you
that's
have to-
probably, that may need the most physical work.
that'll be me. You
Well-
know, I just,
So I have a question on sign in and vetting. Then there won't be two of us doing that like before. It'll just be
no, there
one.
will be, but the
that'll
signing
slow
in
it
and
up.
vetting will be you. The other person that sat at the table with you registered and gave them their ballot. That's gonna be either Andrew or Catherine. They're
Oh,
gonna,
okay, they're
They
doing,
they
it.
will,
Yeah.
they
right,
will
right.
still handle all, they're gonna have the master list,
Yeah, gotcha.
you know. You'll probably be working on a list from ours that's just everybody that's on, you know, that's on our list and stuff. It still looks like ours always has. You know,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna have to do, I'm kind of concerned about the sign-in sheet, but I'll be the person that deals with that. I've been trying to think, because it's gotta be a continuous sheet. I don't think I can have a different sheet for every single person. You know what I mean? It's gonna be something that's gonna be rehandled by individuals.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Get
Yep.
a big roll of wrapping paper.
Just
Treat
roll
it
it
like
out,
a-
and go sign your name.
There we go. Treat it like an old Greek scroll.
I almost wish I could.
well, as long as there's sanitizer right at
Yeah.
each one of these process points, none of that should be an issue.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Somebody
It's just,
signs in, immediately sanitize their hands, move on to the next.
yeah,
And,
Oh,
and
okay.
therefore that means that anybody who's watching them do whatever they're being asked to do, make sure that they actually use the sanitizer.
yeah.
Right. We had talked about pens not being left because they can carry
Yep.
germs. So can we ask people to bring their own pen? And if they don't, we have some, but they must stay with them.
And I'm gonna have a whole bunch of pens out by Larry at the outdoor table there. And that's where they can get a pen. And I hope they use the whole thing to fill out their COVID form, sign in for Don. And then when they get their ballot and go sit down at the table, fill it out. And they can either, there'll be a place where if they want to just drop it in a trash can, they can. Or we'll
Ah.
see if we can find a little basket of some sort. They can put them in at the end and then we can sanitize and reuse. I don't even mind just having them go, or they can take them home. But
Right.
I don't want them left in the building.
I was going to say something very similar, just a great big plastic bucket
Yep,
and say, keep with a sign on it that says, keep your pen or
yep,
put it here.
Yep.
And then at the end of that, then we can like pour disinfectant on it or throw it away or whatever we want. But
Yep.
at least at least they're not going to be walking outdoors and throwing them on the ground.
Or
yeah,
being-
that's true. I got you, Larry. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
or be used by somebody else because they left them there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
Yep.
don't want
Yep.
that. Rachel, are you eating? Will you?
Nope, I'm all done.
Wait a minute. I see something in that cheek.
No, no.
I wanted to ask Rachel something and now I completely forgot it. Oh, I'm bad.
It
I'm
has to
bad.
do with the pens and the bucket.
the pens in the bucket. What did I want? I wanted to ask her something and it had to do with, but I think she and I kind of talked about where we need different things. I'll think of it again.
Do
Never
you want
fear.
a separate like bucket or garbage can from the one we talked about today for pins?
Yeah, I think
You
I
wanna do
want something
small?
that's more of just, even if it's, and I may have something here at home that's just like one of those little plain bucket things,
Okay.
like you have that, it just, it can say, drop your pens here,
Okay,
and then we've got them collected. Oh, I know what I
Well-
was gonna ask you, Rachel. I
Yeah.
need you to find out from Maddie, or
Okay.
see if in the supply room up there by you, you have raffle tickets.
oh, okay.
We talked about in case there was a line at 12:30 of people who were already there, but because of our limited available to have voters in, if Larry looks and goes, it's 12:30, I've got 5 people in line, he hands out a ticket to each one of those people. If anybody comes after that time, then
No
they
ticky,
won't be allowed in.
no ticky, no votey.
Yeah, so if you could have the girls hunt down, I don't think we're gonna need a whole bunch of raffle tickets, but Lisa mentioned they had those, and there may be some back in that supply room somewhere.
I know they are, because last year I cleaned all that stuff out.
Okay,
Plenty of tickets.
I'll find
Thank you, Ann, for doing that cleaning, and thank you, Linda, for remembering to come up with that.
that actually was Lisa's suggestion. She came up that with it quick, and I went, dang, she really on her game here. Well,
Well,
I
you thought
think-
about it tonight, so thank you.
Yeah. So I think we kind of know what we're all doing, and I wanted to say at 12:30, when we're all done with registering and we've closed it and nobody else is going to come in, I'm going to make sure I have like little simple sandwiches there, a veggie tray, maybe some cheeses, little snack sandwiches, and we've
Couple of
got a
bottles of wine.
refrigerator there in the cafe that's still operational that we can put drinks in. I think Rachel was taught how to make coffee for us at least in the morning. So but that's just for us.
Just make sure you have hydrogen peroxide that we can spray on the sandwiches and stuff.
Oh, come on, Larry.
They should be individually wrapped, though.
Oh, really? No.
Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
I'll see if I can get individually wrapped.
Yeah, they should.
Oh,
Hey,
you're
listen,
right.
you can skip the sandwiches. Why don't you just get some of those pre-packaged hard-boiled eggs and that kind of stuff?
Ooh.
Hey,
Oh,
it's
pickled
good. Number
eggs.
one, it's good
I
for
agree with
you.
you, Linda.
No, it's
I've
good
heard
for
things
you.
about them individually packaged eggs, let me tell you.
There's
Well,
a big
Mark-
difference
From the
between the
chicken's,
ones who
right
get
from
it.
the chicken's butt, no,
There's a big difference between the ones they sell at the market and the ones you can buy at like Hagen for like in a great big bag of 6. Those are horrible, but the ones at Hagen are okay.
Oh, all right. So we've got through our in-person voting schedule. So certification meeting, we all need to get together still and do certification after the AGM.
And I was wondering, because it didn't say, after the AGM, there will be new NNE members. I think that meeting should have everybody, the new ones and the old ones.
Yeah, we've done that.
If you want, we could do, it's just you guys can't vote at all for at our organizational meeting.
Oh,
Just the new people can vote.
yeah.
But if you want to be there, I can arrange that with John.
No, not the organizational, the
Certification.
certification meeting.
Oh, absolutely, Larry, absolutely. But what I need from you guys, and since I probably could get a hold of the 3 people who have been, who are running, because if they each get 1 vote, they're elected. But normally there's a rule, and I have no idea when the November board meeting is going to be.
Well, to
They're
me,
gonna-
it doesn't matter when the board meeting is. All we need to do is get together and certify. And to me, whether the new people vote or the old people vote, I don't really give a hoot. The basic thing is that the old people certify that the process was correct and
Yep.
that this is the result of the process. Whether the board needs the new people to also vote, that's the board's decision. I don't really care. But the
No, I
old
think we
people are the ones that, we
Yeah.
did it. So
Yes.
we should be there. The new people should be
Absolutely,
there.
Larry.
The new people should be there just so that they can see what happens and how things work.
How the process works. You're right.
But
So-
then it does go to the board.
Usually it goes to the board fairly rapidly, but I have, like I say, I have no idea when it's going to be. So if I'm looking at on Saturday is when the AGM happens, do we want to try for Monday or Tuesday, the 9th or 10th in the evening at like a 6:30 meeting like we have been having?
A Tuesday evening is better than a Monday evening for
Yeah.
me, but I'll do
Me too.
Monday.
I can do Tuesday. I have no issue. If Bob Howard Tuesday evenings for you
I
and
don't have a
Don.
problem. Well, let me check my calendar first.
Just ask Alice.
Yeah.
Because all
yeah.
it's,
And then
So
according
Either
to our,
night. Listen, to be honest, both nights are bad for me, but either one I'll work with.
okay. So what do you think, Don? You're looking at a calendar, I can see.
yeah, I'm trying to get my calendar to come up here and tell me what I'm doing the rest of my life.
Okay,
But I think either night is fine, doesn't matter. But I was just looking, we have, Linda, you have 10 days to report certification
Yeah.
results after the AGM, so.
that's why I just want to get this. I think it's gonna be simpler than it's ever been before.
I have no problem. Whenever
Should
you have
be.
it.
Whenever we have it, Monday or Tuesday?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, either one is fine with me.
And do you have a preference?
I do. There's something on that I would miss on the Monday night. So,
So, all right, we're gonna tentatively say that this is gonna happen on 11/10 at 6:30 in the evening. Is that a good time for
Great.
everybody still?
Great.
Yeah, 6:30 or 7.
That's good.
Actually, on Tuesday, 7 would be better for me.
fine.
7, you know what? 7, I can make it.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, Tuesday at 7.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so one of the things that I really want to do that will take us a little bit longer is we can do certification first and get it out of the way. But I would like very much to get evaluations from each one of you and then have a discussion between all of us. How do we think the process worked from start to finish? This is the only opportunity we're going to have as us to basically say, was this a worthwhile experience? What would we do different? How, what things would we make sure of that we did, that we're, that sort of thing. But I definitely think we need to do this. This is something that may only happen this year.
Is this going to be with the new committee members too?
Yes.
And
I certainly hope so, Linda, because maybe I shouldn't be so pessimistic, but I have a feeling that some of the folks who are going to be elected are automatically prejudiced against the process. And I think they might be, I don't know for sure, but they might be assisted if they heard from us exactly how we reached the decisions that we did reach and what we thought of the process.
Now, are we going to be in the conference room?
No, we're gonna be in a Zoom meeting like
Oh.
this. If
Okay.
we need to, I will have some of the final reports by then
Okay.
that will all get sent to everybody, but we can do this share screen
Great.
that's available in the meeting and we all can be looking at the same thing,
Wonderful.
you know, because it's just, with Unilect, and that's the last part of the process that I haven't seen yet of, this whole thing of how do your numbers match up, that sort of thing. And I'm hoping that it'll even be cleaner than when we've done it in the past.
It should be. And if it's not, then that's a reason for reevaluating the decision that we made to pick Unilect or to pick an outside vendor.
Yeah. I get that. And maybe by next year, we can have 20 people in a room sitting across from each other, opening ballots, sharing and touching them with gloves
Linda,
on.
your lips to God's ears, but at least from what I have read and heard, it ain't going to happen for, I thought it would be next year. Apparently it's not going to happen until 2022, maybe.
And I don't know. I just, I think that we probably can still stay close to within the 15,000 K. That's the budget for the AGM. I'm hoping that if we work with Unilect again, it's a possibility. I think if and when we ever go to online voting, I think that's a little bit more expensive if I remember looking at the bids and stuff. I think it's because of who they get and how they protect the online voting.
Yeah, and to revisit that, I know it's really off topic tonight, but
Yeah,
to
I know.
revisit that, it from everything that I've heard, there is no way to guarantee privacy, and therefore there's no way that we can move in that direction until the software engineering develops further.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you've got the hackers that are years ahead of us here, folks.
Yeah, true.
That I don't
Well,
know.
There we go. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It may never happen, but it's certainly not going to happen in the next 1 or 2 years.
Well, and the first thing we'll have to do, Larry, is change the bylaws here before that's going to have to go before the membership before we even consider online voting.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. But anyway, I would really like us all to, I don't know, Larry, if you'd like to, I don't know how to put a evaluation form together. Do we have like maybe 5 or 6 just major things that we'd all like to weigh in on?
I wouldn't mind putting together something, Linda, but really the issue is not so much something that I feel comfortable putting in a form. It's more like our gut feelings, as individual committee members, what do our guts tell us about the process this year? And we should just have a discussion.
Linda,
Okay.
and Unilect may have evaluation forms already.
Well,
Yep.
they might have
That's
them.
true.
Well, that's a good question.
Because they want feedback too.
Exactly.
Good point. Thank you, Ann.
I'll ask. But I just would like everybody to be ready to talk about that, because once certification and everything's gone away, you're going to all go lead your lives. I'm still on the committee for another year, doing whatever, heaven knows, but I'll still be there for another year. But I think you all deserve, this was a lot of really hard work. I don't care what anybody out there in the community says, but
Good.
it was like lots of meetings, lots of extra stuff. Everybody drop what you're doing and in 48 hours, we're gonna get together because we need to do this, you know? And the association can have really easy a Zoom meeting for an AGM. They don't mean anything without the voting and the counting and the balloting and everything else.
Well, let me step outside the context of this meeting just a touch and say that the course of the committee activities this year has been exceedingly pleasurable to me, and very productive,
Yeah.
very professional, and I am very appreciative of everybody's contribution.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. I can't say enough good things. I can't, and I have to include Russ. You
Yes.
know, he helped us understand a lot of the stuff we didn't
Big
understand,
time.
Oh, heck yes. Heck yes.
you
I
know.
mean, he's an ex officio member of this committee anyway, given his
Yeah.
past participation on the committee, past
Mhm.
membership, but we couldn't have done it without his input and expertise. So, like I say, the entire experience has been really, really gratifying.
And
Yeah,
I
I
think that's you, Linda.
Nah,
because
it's
of
just,
you.
it's all of us. You know, it's all of us that decided to work together and just, you know, the only person I wish we still had here, and Rachel, it's no effect to you, except my big cat thinks he's gonna get up on my table. Is I wish Lisa was here to see this through. You know, I'm sure she's following all of this, but she and I have been trying since like 2016 to even get it as a possibility. And this year, since we had no other choice, we did it. But I just, you know, I wish that I wish even she and Rachel were both here to help see us through it.
And that really isn't on the subject, but I was thinking it might be nice to do a little something for Lisa.
Ooh, let's think about it and get together.
Hey, Linda, you remember after you did such good work with preventing the community from having to spend millions of dollars on the Lake Louise Dam? We
Yeah.
gave you a little plaque. Maybe we could give her a
That's
little.
right.
Maybe we could give her a little plaque.
We're gonna have to find out where she's hiding at.
Yeah, and I would certainly could. I mean, to heck with the board, I'd contribute to that.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I totally agree. You
I
know,
know where
I
to
just,
find her.
From us.
you'll
I know where
help
she
us
is.
find her, right, Rachel?
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
Wink, wink, nod, nod.
I know right where she is.
So, but it's just, you know, it's been a year that, given different circumstances, could just be throw your hands up in the air and give up. And none of
God,
us
yes.
ever did that.
Well, and given the fact that I'll bring up some bad memories, given the abuse that Lisa has faced in years past,
Yeah.
she still performed like a professional trooper
Right.
this year.
She always has.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's sort of why I feel especially appreciative of the work that she did, because she really faced just the nastiest abuse.
And she
Yeah.
took the high road.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, so I always found that, you know, when we got together, we just simply dealt with what we needed to deal with. And sometimes that's easier than all the other garbage that gets thrown in there. No, it's true.
usually easier.
No, it's true. You know, some of it's something you can't even discuss necessarily. And it's sometimes, you know, since 2016, she and I have worked together, and I've found her nothing but professional, always willing to help, go the extra mile, whatever you need, Linda, no issue whatsoever.
There you
And I
go.
think it's a neat idea, Larry.
That's the person that I know, and that's the person that I want to appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we have any other business. We're going to meet on 11/10 at 7 p.m. I'll try and send out emails. I have the email address of all of the entity candidates and see if we can get them to agree to that. And then I can tell John when we need to have that certification meeting and stuff. Because I think most of his busiest time is going to be the day of the AGM, because it's going to go just bam, 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 one right. We're hopefully going to have the organizational meeting with the new committee at 4:00. Unilect has kind of indicated to me that they want to be up and out of here by around 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, good
And
for them.
Yeah.
So
And that's kind of their planning. Go ahead, Ann. What was your
do
question?
we plan on spending the day?
Yep.
Okay.
I will provide, if you need to go home for some reason, or you can bring the dog with, that's even
Oh.
better. A dog doesn't count as a
you don't want
person in a
that
room,
dog
does
Oh,
it?
stop it. Stop it, Bob.
Yeah, my dogs are great, Ann, but you do not want my dogs and your dogs in the same space together.
Or
No, I
Bob.
think that would be fun.
You don't want Bob and her dog in the same space
No,
together.
it wasn't bad. You be quiet.
So anyway, folks, I will see you all on, we'll still have our vetting to do. Don and I are going to be doing the Friday ballots at 4:30. I don't know that I'm even going to vet them. I think we're just going to empty out the, since Unilect is going to register them anyway, we're just going to empty out the ballot box and just put those maybe in a rubber band all by themselves, and they'll just go over to get registered. Because Unilect they've not asked me for any of our stuff.
Aren't you going to vet them, though? I mean, you vetted all the others. Why not vet these?
I see it, and
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So,
oh. I just, and maybe
he
we
is
will.
not a sweet dog.
He is cute. You're not sweet.
And maybe Don and I will. Because
might as
we've
well.
vetted all of them, and and maybe we are going to have to vet, because if I keep getting the lists from Unilect, I've vetted them. So maybe Don and I are going to vet at 4:30.
Well, we
Hopefully there
should,
won't
just
be
to
a lot
complete the
on
process.
Friday.
Yeah, I agree with you, Don. It doesn't make sense to vet some and not others.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because then what we're going to do is get security to come over and join us at the clubhouse, and they're going to help us transport our ballots over to the multipurpose room, lock them in that closet, so that when Unilect gets there on Saturday morning, we pop open the closet, pop open the gun cases, and give them the ballots that we have.
There you go.
Because
Can we
otherwise
request
we
a-
have to transport in the morning, and it's just wasting more time.
Listen,
Lynn?
if you guys on that Friday need assistance, just give the rest of us a holler.
right.
Well,
got
but the
your
whole
number.
thing is, I don't want a bunch of people in the room. It's still the same. It's
You're
still
not
the
gonna
same
get-
problem.
Linda, you're not going to get a bunch of people in the room. What you'll get is different people at different times.
Oh, that's true. I see
Oh.
what you're saying.
I think it'll
see
be
what you're
fine.
saying. I think we'll be okay. We'll see how it goes for this week and Tuesday next week of how many are dropping. I had to put 2 ballots in there today. A gentleman from Canada didn't want to send his ballot, mail it into way into California. And so he goes, can't I just mail it to the clubhouse? And I said, if you do, put Sheridan and E on there so that they don't consider it just other regular mail. He did,
Thank
we
you,
got
Linda.
it
Thank
today.
you so much.
He did it, he sent it today, and I need to send him an email back tonight. And he just put it in there. I opened it up and went and put the ballot in the ballot box. We got, and like I say, we got another one of those no outer envelope, but oh well, they are what they are, and we only got 2 of them so far.
Yep.
Oh, anyway, unless whoever's, I don't know if I have any other people in the audience, if they want to comment or anything, we're ready to adjourn unless somebody in the audience wants to tell John they've got something that they'd like to say to us.
Yeah, looks like they do want to pop in here, so I'll go
Okay.
ahead and bring them over. Nancy, if I could have you introduce yourself, please.
Nancy Alienak for Sandalwood Circle. And thank you, Linda, for this heroic effort on bringing us Unilex or whoever else you could have brought us. But I don't think we'd be having a meeting without this third party sort of thing, vendor. So bye, y'all. Good night.
Bye. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Have a good night, Nancy. All right.
I think that's it.
Mhm.
Having no other member comments, I would like a motion to adjourn, folks.
So moved.
Second.
Second, somebody, all right. I'll see you all at our next meeting. Once I find my mouse, I'll say goodbye to everybody. I'm gonna leave the meeting. See you
Okay.
on Saturday morning.